I wish you good health, fellow Ukrainians. Today was an extremely busy day, and the coming days will also be serious. We spoke with the American team on economic matters, on reconstruction matters. I want to thank Secretary Bessent, Jared Kushner, and Larry Fink of BlackRock for being fully constructive. The key principle we share is that to ensure reconstruction is of high quality and economic growth is tangible after this war, real security must form the foundation. When there's security, everything else follows. The 20 points for ending the war form a fundamental document. We are actively working on the key steps, and they must be doable steps. From this fundamental document, we are developing 2 additional ones, at least 2. And the first is on security, regarding security guarantees for Ukraine with the United States. And the second is on the economy, covering reconstruction and joint investments. Today, we focus specifically on the economic document. And on the Ukrainian side, I was accompanied by Ukrainian government officials, Prime Minister of Ukraine Yulia Sviridenko, Deputy Prime Minister Kachka, Minister Sibia and Sobolev, and First Deputy Foreign Minister Kislitsia. Our defenders were also represented in all discussions. Today, General Natov joined us in the economic talks. The principles of the economic document are absolutely clear, and we are fully aligned with the American side on this. I want to thank them for today's video meeting. An economic action plan will follow. Europe will also be involved in reconstruction, certainly. In the near future, we plan to move forward on the other 2 documents as well. Rustem Umerov will continue the discussions. For tomorrow, we are preparing a coalition of the willing meeting, over 30 countries working with Ukraine to ensure security on land, in the air, and at sea. Next week, we will coordinate with Europe in bilateral formats. Ukraine is working swiftly. Every visit and every negotiation we conduct always yields practical results for our defense and for our resilience. Today, our combat aviation has been reinforced. Thank you. Details are not yet public, but we continue to strengthen our forces in the sky. Today, there is also an additional sanction step in Europe. More sanctions will target Russian tankers and the entire Russian oil transport infrastructure. And this is right. In December, Ukraine will present its own package of sanctions against the tanker fleet working for the war, and we will extend this pressure through joint formats with our partners. There will be new steps against Russian propagandists as well. Today, I also receive a report from the head of Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service, including on the enemy's economic situation and Russia's growing dependence on China. Throughout Russian history, no one has ever surrendered sovereignty so much to China or any other major power. And it is astonishing how much Putin is paying just to avoid ending this war. Yet the world still has sufficient strength to end this war, to force Russia into doing so. Peace is needed. I want to thank everyone who is helping. And one more thing. Today, I spoke with representatives of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine. We had a substantive discussion. I will not allow any speculation against Ukraine. If our partners, including our key partner in Washington, are speaking so much and so concretely about elections in Ukraine, about elections under martial law, we must provide legal Ukrainian responses to every question and every doubt. This is not easy, but we definitely don't need any pressure on this. I expect that the people's deputies of Ukraine will present their perspective. Security challenges depend on our partners, primarily the United States, and political and legal challenges must be addressed by Ukraine. And they will be. Glory to Ukraine.
There's some European leaders today, I think, sir, about Ukraine.
I did.
Could you tell us about that? And is there a new revised peace plan that Ukraine has presented?
The leaders of France, we spoke to, and Germany, and UK, all very good leaders, very good friends of mine, and we discussed Ukraine in pretty strong words. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we're waiting to hear answers before we progress. You know, we're not spending any money in Ukraine. We're selling basically missiles and everything else to NATO, and NATO is paying us, and then they distribute it to who they want. I guess they're mostly distributing to Ukraine, but we're not spending money. But you know, we're spending a lot of time and a lot of effort, because last month 27,000 soldiers were killed. Both, think of it, 27,000. That's, if you take a football game and take half the stadium, that's 27,000. So 27,000 soldiers were killed. Russian and Ukrainian soldiers were killed. And I want to see that stop. We'll find out. Look, there are a lot of things happening right now. A lot of people say it's closer than it's ever been. It's a war that would have never started. If I were president, would have never started. It's a war that should never have started. But we'll have it figured out, I think, within a pretty short
When you say very strong terms, sir, could you explain that?
Well, I think we had some little disputes about people, and we're going to see how it turns out. And we said before we go to a meeting, we want to know some things. You know, they would like us to go to a meeting over the weekend in Europe, and we'll make a determination depending on what they come back with. We don't want to be wasting time. Sometimes you have to let people fight it out, and sometimes you don't. But the problem with letting people fight it out is you're losing thousands of people a week. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Mr. President, two questions. One, the oil tanker. Who owns that oil tanker?
You'll get that information later.
Okay, and have you spoken to Maduro since your last conversation?
No,
Or
I
has it
haven't.
only been one conversation?
No.
And when you say that the European leaders want to have a meeting over the weekend, are you talking about with Zelensky or with them?
With Zelensky and us.
And you said in an interview yesterday that you think it's time for Zelensky to start accepting things. What things are you talking about?
I think he has to be realistic, and I do wonder about, how long is it going to be till they have an election? It's a democracy. It's a long time. They haven't had an election in a long time. It's losing a lot of people, and it's possible that the people, if you look at the polls, I will say 82%, there was a poll that came out, 82% of the people are demanding a settlement be made, Ukrainian people. They want to see a settlement be made. I understand that. They're losing thousands and thousands of people a week. They want to see it ended. And I do say, at what point, when do they have an election in Ukraine? That's not casting dispersions on anybody, but they do have a massive corruption situation going on there. And they do say, when are they, people are asking this question, when do they have an election? Are they going to have an election? Or are they going to just keep it going like this? So I think it's time to get that war settled. And I think it's a war that can be settled. But it takes two to tango.